Hello everyone. So welcome to our channel Coding Insights by Kiran. So today we'll discuss about the differences between the generative AI, can call it as a Gen AI, and AI agent and agentic AI. Many people have the few doubts. So what is a generative AI? What is AI agent? What is agentic agent? At what use case we are using this? So many people and everyone has a bit confusion about this terminology, and we'll clarify those things in this session. Yes, so this is completely a oral session, not a practical session, and I'll explain about everything in detail with a simple example to understand clearly to everyone. Okay, in which use cases? Maybe you can relate with your use cases, and you can think with the different type of examples. Okay, so I'm taking a simple flight example. Maybe I'll show you in the next subsequent slides. Okay, so coming to the next generative AI. Generative AI is nothing but we can call it as a Gen AI. It's a type of a artificial intelligence that can generate text or image or a code, audio, or even a videos also based on some patterns. Okay, so what is nothing but so LLM. So everyone knows that LLM, right? A large language model. So which contains the huge data, predefined data, and whatever the input or whatever the prompt you are giving to this LLM model. So it will fetch the data from the existing patterns. Based on the patterns, existing data will be there. It will search that based on the some patterns will be there internally, and if you give that prompt, it will be prompt can be converted to the transformers. So that is a different thing. I'll give you a detailed LLM video how it will work. So based on the data input given, so it will try to search the data in the existing one, and it will fetch it. Okay, so let's say example, I am giving, you can check the Chat GPT, Gemini, Claude, Wikipedia, anything, any model, any LLM model. So you can give what is the price ticket for flight from Indigo to Hyderabad to Dubai. Okay, so if you give this as an input to then the model will be interpret this input, and it will say that I don't know the price. My knowledge is there till today. So it will not predict the future, and it will not give about the information about the, it will give the few information, but it will not give the complete picture. So let's say if I want to try to book a ticket, if you give the Chat GPT, so I want to please book a ticket from Hyderabad to Dubai from my Make My Trip or something, any website. So it will not book. It will give the suggestions only. So that is nothing but a Gen AI. So generative AI is only with LLM. Okay. So it will not store any memory. So LLM will not store the any memory. You understood, right? Simple generative AI. So generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that generates text, image, audio, video, anything based on the patterns. So there is a data. So huge data will be there. It will search from the huge data. So that is the reason if you try to search in the Chat GPT Gemini, it will give the some search like searching in the web. So that type of text will become. So that is nothing but a generative AI. Okay. Now let me go to the AI agent. So this is the second. AI agent is a program, is an artificial intelligence program that takes the input. So whatever the input you takes, and it thinks smartly, and it thinks smartly, and there are some tools will be there internally. So those tools are called agents, and to complete the tasks. Okay. So the simple example in the previous example we discussed, right? Book me the cheapest flight from Hyderabad to Dubai tomorrow. So that input, if you give to the LLM model, LLM, and there are few agents, something like a Make My Trip agent. So that is called Expedia API. So we can give this input, and this is the agent. In LLM has the multiple agents. So then this will check that input from that LLM. Then this LLM model will pass the data to the agent, that is called API, which here we are using as a Make My Trip API. So and then it will check the data, and it will search the flights, and it decides which one is the cheapest and try to book it, and we will get the confirmation mail or confirmation flight is booked, confirmation sent to your email and mobile. So in between there are many things. Just I'm giving a simple example. Then it will ask about the payments. So do you want to redirect the payment? Then it will redirect to the payment gateway, and you have to do the payments. And once the payment is done, the flight will be the book, and you will get the okay. So there is a few observation is there. This is the previous slide I copied. So this is not the, this should not be there. Okay. I'll update the, I'll update the new slide and push into the GitLab. Okay. You can check this. You can pull this from the GitLab. This is nothing but a AI agent. So you, there are the few simple things only. So the agent is a, acts as a smart, takes as an input, and it completes that output, and it completes the task based on the input we are giving. So it can take the decisions independently and complete the task. Okay. Okay. So we discussed about the Gen AI and AI agent. Now the agentic AI. What is agentic AI? Agentic AI has the name itself. It is telling it contains the multiple agents, and the agents can coordinate themselves and giving the output to the ultimate. It will give the final output. So if you see this example, flight booking API. So there is a one agent is there, and visa checking API. There is a one more agent, and there is a weather API. There is a one more agent. So these three are agents and API. So this is the make my trip or Expedia API to check that flights information. Okay. So my requirement is, so I want to book me a cheapest flight from Hyderabad to Dubai and return back also, and return ticket also. Both I need to book. But there are few conditions. What is that? The weather should be sunny. So it's always should be a sunny, and my budget is only 20,000. So based on these two input, based on this input, I'll give this input to the model, and it will book the ticket, and it will generate the ticket. It will give me the ticket. Okay, it will book the ticket. That's so that is the output. So what it will be? So for initially it will check. So the input, if you give this input to the agent, agentic AI, so now it will first check. It will check the flights are available or not next week. So I want to book me in the next week only. Dubai next week. Okay, next week. So it will check the flights available or not, and we can and it will also check that API will check also what are the cheapest flight. Now it will check mm, weather also. Whether that's weather API will give that there is something called as Aqua Weather API. So there are so many other weather APIs. So it will generate whether those 7 days after say next week, after 1 week, so the weather should be sunny or not. So this will give the input to the model, and based on the input, it will try to book the flight ticket, and finally it will check the visa also. So once if we try to book the ticket, so it will check that visa is a valid visa, and it will and it will process this visa, and it will go to the immigration API, and it will try to check the data. So based on all these data, and it will check the budget. So I am giving the budget, right? So everything, all these models, all these agents will be communicate each other. All these agents will be communicate each other, and the, and it will book the flight ticket. So how it books? So in this agentic AI, so every model has a memory, so long memory. So once you get the flight information, all these flight information will be stored into the one of the in memory, and visa migration check and weather API, all these stored into the memory. So that is the reason agentic AI is so popular, and it has many frameworks to develop the agents. So this is the one of the example. So that is the reason I see I gave the few very simple in points. So agentic AI handles the multi-step goals with planning and the coordination. It has a long-term memory. So once we got this information from the flight API, it will store into the memory, and the visa checking API and the immigration details, it will store into the memory, and the weather API, the weather API, it will store into the memory, and this API, what's called make my trip API, it will be stored into the memory. So all these informations, okay, based on this, it will try the model will be trying to and book the ticket. So this is nothing but an agentic AI. So you got the simple differences, right? One is Gen AI or generative AI agent. AI agent is used for very simpler tasks, and agentic AI will be used for the complex task, and it will be the multi communication, bidirectional communication between the different agents. Okay. Next slide we will see what are the what are the table. Okay, let's decide the table. Okay, so this is the table. I'll give the brief thing. So what is the type capability? It will search. So Gen AI means a generative AI. It will search and get the based on the existing data. And AI agent, it takes the input. It takes the input and decides that complete the task. So agentic AI handles multiple steps and with it coordination with the multiple agents as well. Okay, and complete the tasks and complete the task. What is the usage? There is no tools for this Gen AI. There is no tools, but this agent, it requires the tools to complete the task. Let's say if you want to book a flight ticket, right? Only for flight ticket for tomorrow. So make my trip or Wikipedia API to book the tickets. So that is one of the agents. So that is nothing but one of the tools. For agentic AI, it contains the multiple tools or multiple agents. Okay. So Gen AI, it will take the own decisions. No, what is the prompt you give? What is the input you give? It will give based on that input. Agent, yes, it takes the decision and it will complete the tasks. And agentic AI, yes, it will also takes the own decisions. It plans, decides, and complete the task and execute the tasks. So this is the brief idea about the table. This is a simple table gives about the Gen AI, AI agent, and agentic AI. Now, these are the few frameworks which are provided in the market. Agentic AI frameworks. One is AGNO, and another is the Crew AI. Third one is the Lang Graph. Third one is the Microsoft AutoGen. So these are the few frameworks which are provided in the market for agentic AI. Okay. Yeah, that's it from my side. So this is a simple video. So we'll come with the next videos with the multiple AI related things, and we'll do the simple projects also in the AI part. So how we can generate an agent. So that also will covered as part of this AI tutorial. That's it. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe and please share my channel to your friends. Thank you. Thanks everyone.